Welcome to Season 2 of Quantum Childhood, a Tales from the Loop actual play podcast presented by Geek at Arms.
I'm Jacob H., and I'm playing Kevin Buford.
I am John S., playing Jomar.
I am Jacob M. I am playing Cody Wright.
I am Greg, and I am Berlin Parker.
And I'm Brian, I'll be the Game Master.
So what was the name of the grocery store kid?
Brandon.
Brandon. I'll fill in as Brandon.
Okay. Well, he will be available in the first scene, so...
All right.
And you see his character sheet in the
Yes, I do.
journal? Excellent.
What a handsome-looking fellow.
All right. Welcome back. It is only a week into the academic year, and high school is closed indefinitely already. Following a citywide power outage that seems to have affected even the loop itself, mysterious black-clad agents have shown up at the school and declared it off-limits. Between that and the strange weather swirling over the lunchroom, you decided that whatever was going on in there was something that you needed to know about. So, climbing up to the roof, you descended through a skylight into the library, then crept through the kitchen into the lunchroom, where you saw some kind of a strange bubble and all kinds of electronic monitoring equipment observing it. Two of the agents entered the room and had a conversation indicating that there were witnesses of other anomalies. Information from some hunters and a newspaper carrier had been confirmed, and both a church and the Nelson Ranch were being locked down. After the agents left the room, Jomar got up close enough to the equipment to see that it was apparently tracking the state of the bubble, which went through cycles of some kind. As the next cycle started, Jomar retreated back behind the counter just in time for the two agents to return. The bubble turned transparent, and one of the agents put on some protective gear before stepping into it. He was gone for a few minutes while the other one watched readouts on the computer. When the first agent returned, they wrote down some notes, then went back outside, and the bubble had returned to its mostly opaque state. Cody tried to throw one of the cameras into the bubble to see if you could record anything about what was going on the other side, but it just bounced off the membrane. Waiting around for a while and continuing to look at the equipment, the cycle eventually began again, and the membrane became transparent again. Rather than dealing with cameras, Kevin recklessly went through, finding himself on a cliff overlooking Lake Mead and the dam. Berlin followed him a few moments later. Kevin tried to use his walkie-talkie to talk to the guys outside, but he only got a very faint signal in return. Outside, Jomar didn't hear anything at all from the walkie-talkie, but he did suddenly remember having been contacted by Kevin on the walkies 18 months ago, although they weren't actually able to converse at that time. Meanwhile, Berlin was looking around and saw that at the bottom of the cliff there was one of those time anchors that you originally encountered during the Animal Arc, and a body face down in the water. Near the edge of the cliff, he found a scrap of cloth torn from the person's lab coat bearing a DARPA logo and the name Sarah Brooke. Sarah happened to have been Kevin's babysitter years ago, and he remembered that she was very excited to have been assigned to a top-secret project at DART, a subsidiary of DARPA that involved teleportation. Berlin negotiated exiting the bubble easily and won't have to roll to exit or enter one again in the future, but Kevin got caught in it as it started to turn back opaque. Only Jomar's strength helped him escape as it closed in around him. Jomar also will not have to roll to enter or exit bubbles, but Kevin was exhausted by the ordeal. So having learned everything there was to learn there, you retreated back through the library skylight and decided that you would next head to the nearby Boys and Girls Club to regroup and see if any of the other students gathered there know anything. So is there anything that you want to do before or on the way to the Boys and Girls Club?
Is the weather still absolutely horrendous outside?
Yes, it is still very windy. The wind is starting to pick up small objects and blow them around. Nothing dangerous, but there's some cardboard boxes and such flying around.
On their own propulsion or wind propulsion?
Wind propulsion. That is a good question in this town.
Exactly.
In spite of the high winds, you notice that there's a flock of sparrows still in the air, but they're weirdly just flying in circles as if they don't know where they're supposed to be going. And there's dogs barking and howling all through the area. All right, so assuming that you don't have any other business to take care of on your way, and it's only a couple of blocks away to get to the Boys and Girls Club, you get there and the place is packed. Every chair in the place is occupied, and there are several kids sitting on the floor. There are board games out, some students are doing homework, and a lot of them are just talking and flirting with each other. And in spite of the colossal amount of work that he must have to do with this many teenagers in the place, Gordon Jenkins spots Jomar as soon as you come in, and his face lights up. "Hey, Jomar, I was hoping I might see you today. It took your sweet time getting here, but I could really use a hand. You up for braving the weather to get some more chairs?"
Yeah, man. I got you. You just point me the right direction.
All right, so you follow him out, and he takes you to the Salvation Army post next door to get a cart loaded with metal folding chairs. And meanwhile, the rest of you can talk to anyone you like in the club. Some people of note. We have, of course, first and foremost, Brandon of the Hemingway Walmart is here.
Hey guys.
Jenny, and Julie are all here. And Jomar's sister, Krista, is sitting in a corner by herself looking forlorn. And pretty much any other students you might have encountered may or may not be here.
The Jennies. Are the Jennies there?
Yep, both Jenny's and Julie.
Are we all in the same grade?
I believe you are the same age as Jomar, and most everybody else is a year younger.
Okay.
Except I think Cody is 2 years younger.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you'll be maybe a sophomore in high school.
Hey, John, do we have any classes together this time? I hadn't noticed you yet.
Yeah, I'm sitting in the over to the right side, kind of near the front. In history class, usually people.
Oh, you got that second period like me? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, when you walk by the door, I'm just kind of like right there. If you don't look to your left, dude, I mean, you're going to miss me.
Alrighty, that's cool. Anything interesting this time around?
Oh, you know what? The stuff on Napoleon never gets old.
Never gets any bigger either.
No.
But he does make a good ice cream.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
So what have you been doing over the summer?
Oh, man, and I'm going to be setting up some chairs while we're talking. Yeah, so I got to play a little bit with the group. We're trying to kind of write a little bit. I don't know if we'll ever, I kind of lean forward and I'm like, I don't know if we're ever going to be like big enough for a stadium type show, but we're playing and rocking out as best we can. And the guys and gals are sticking together pretty good. My mom and dad, they ended up separating. I don't know if the divorce is considered final or if there's just separation or whatever.
Yeah,
but
that's a bummer.
yeah, so I'm hanging with my dad and my sister Krista. Have you seen her? Do you know her?
Is she the kind of short one with red short hair?
Kind of. Well, she's kind of medium height and it's kind of dirty blonde.
Okay, I might be thinking of somebody else.
Okay.
Freckles?
Looking around, you do see Krista is sitting by herself in the corner on the floor.
Oh yeah, I have seen her. I think before. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's my sister. I'm gonna go over and see her in a little bit here once I get these things set up. But yeah, she's been living with mom and I'm living with dad, and we're staying connected and everything. But so you grow up with the family being together, and then the family's not together, and you just kind of go, I don't think it's me, but don't know who it is, and I'm not necessarily looking for blame, but it's kind of been a focus for the summer.
Yeah. And once Jomar gets about halfway done, I'll start helping.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, appreciate that, Brandon.
Yeah, and these are cold.
Yeah.
All right, so anybody else wanting to talk to anyone here? There are clues to be had.
Oh, yeah. I want to talk to Jenny.
All right. So you go over to Jenny, and she says, "Oh, hi, Kevin. How are you?"
We go, pretty cool. Considering school's out forever. Am I right?
Yeah, I don't know. They've got to open it back up eventually. They're not going to just let us stay home all the time. My mom will go crazy if Gina and I are there all the time. Oh, have you seen Gina? She called earlier. she was at like the police station or something. She said she wasn't going to be home today and she was going to miss school. But I mean, I guess that's not a big deal, obviously. But she was out on her paper route and something happened, I guess. But I haven't seen her since then. Have you seen her?
Minor out of character. This is Jaina, the robot girl, right?
No. That is an unfortunate similarity of names, but no. This is Gina, Gina.
Okay.
Jenny's older
Interesting.
sister.
It's Jenny's older sister?
Yes. If I had been thinking a little more clearly, I would not have given everybody such similar names.
You were like, this is a good name.
Yeah. Seemed like a good idea at the time.
Okay. So she just said, so she's at the police station?
That's what she said. That was like hours ago, though.
Guys, did we already break into the police station? This is out of character.
Yes, we have.
Okay.
But it was a long time ago.
You didn't break into the police station. You just went there and spoke with Karen.
It felt like breaking into the police station.
All the other cops were away at a convention in Las Vegas at the time.
I mean, when we're with Kevin, when we go into places, it feels like breaking into places.
I do kind of feel like we whipped out our badge and started pointing our water guns at people just now.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, so gotcha. And you haven't heard from her at all?
Not since the phone call. No, I'm getting kind of worried if she's been like arrested or something. I don't know what she would have been arrested for. I mean, delivering papers is not a crime.
Okay. Okay, well, I'm sure she'll be fine. You know, people get arrested here all the time. My buddy here, Cody, he's basically in and out every day.
Yeah, I mean, your friend Mogu got black bagged and everything.
Yeah.
Wow.
Enzo, those could have been undercover cops who took him.
I thought next season was going to get dark.
Okay, that's cool. I say, we talked to this Jenny. Is other Jenny here?
Yep, she's here too.
Yeah, we want to talk
Matter
to
of
her.
fact, she's sitting right next to the Jenny you're talking to, and just kind of like nodding along.
Oh, who was my prom date? I can't remember. Was it Jenny?
I think you went with other Jenny.
Yeah.
So other Jenny is the one.
Possibly with Lena Peterson.
What?
I said, or possibly with Lena Peterson.
You know what? It was Lena because she was a little bit too old for
by
him.
like 30 years.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, she was there. No, so I set up Cody with one of the Jennies. And maybe it was Cody and Jaimar and the Jennies. I'm not sure.
I don't remember. I just remember that it was Julie who had a crush on Cody and was disappointed that he didn't ask her to go.
Ouch. Brutal.
But he was completely oblivious to all of it the whole time. So
Yeah, I saw a note passed around one of the classes later on about it. So
I have a Jenny in my notes too, but I was so oblivious that even I've forgotten about it.
You probably went with Jenny, and I think I picked up other Jenny when Lena left early.
One of them went with Enzo. But you had that awesome scene with the art class.
I remember. Man, I miss his turtlenecks. Okay.
Anyway, so you've got the newspaper carrier clue here, and I can think of two people you might be able to talk to get more information there.
Let me check my notes here. I kind of glanced at everybody else, our buddies, to see if this is ringing anybody else's bell.
If you'd like to make a contact roll, I could just go ahead and give it to you.
I'm going to do that.
And I'm passing by this conversation because I'm making a beeline for Krista.
For Krista? All right.
Yes.
All right, so You, of course, know Karen Richards at the police station, and you also know your neighbor, James Crandall, Mrs. Crabapple's son, who is a reporter for the newspaper and would know what Gina's route was.
Oh, nice. Okay.
While you're thinking about that and possibly making a phone call, let's pick up Krista and Jomar. She's wearing this withdrawn, sorrowful expression. So you go and you lean your back against the wall and slide down to sit shoulder to shoulder with her. She leans against you a little bit, and in spite of all the awkwardness that's grown up between you the past few months, it suddenly feels a little bit more like it used to be.
Yeah, you mean like when I see her now? No, I'm just kidding. Krista, what's going on?
Well, I don't know. I'm kind of confused, and I guess, well, you know that Peter, my boyfriend.
Yeah.
I can't figure out why I'm dating him.
I know what you mean.
I mean, I remember making the decision, and it seemed like a good idea at the time, but when I stop and I think about it, it just why am I seeing him? I don't understand it.
I'm not sure either, sis. But I don't like seeing you like this. Look, we've always been really, really honest, you know? I mean, we peel the onion all the time. So I've been bothered by the potential of this relationship where how he would treat you would be not good enough for you. I'm not saying that people can't be good enough for you. But Krista, this guy, he's got a way about him that I don't think it's going to be good long term. And you know, I'm not going to jail, but if he hurts you, I'm not making any promises.
She smiles sadly at that. She's like, you know, Dad tried to warn me about him. He said something about him, and this was like before the split up.
Yeah.
And it seemed like, you know, right after that, everything kind of got weird and changed, and
Yeah.
And I don't. Do you think someone could do something to like change people's minds?
Krista, yes. I mean, I haven't, even though we talk all the time, you know, and we've talked about a lot of stuff, I've seen some really weird stuff over the last couple of years, and this summer was, you know, no different. Me and my pals, we just have really run into some stuff, and I don't put mind, I mean, don't freak out, but I don't put mind control over anything. I don't count it out.
You know,
I've seen some people weird out.
If I hadn't seen some of the things at that farm last year, I would be thinking you were crazy. But when I gave your friends a ride up there, and
Yeah.
I don't know, it was strange, and I think something's happened to me. I don't know.
Well,
just promise me, if I go crazy or something, that you're not gonna you'll stay with me. And
you know what? I'm not going to leave you. We are family, and I mean, I may lock you up, but I've got the key and I know exactly where the cage is. So I'm kidding. I'm not going to leave you. And if you think you can tell this stuff is going on, if you think like it's a switch that you feel like it's getting ready to happen, call me. Reach out. If I'm not paying attention, then throw something at me. I got you.
Yeah,
We're family.
She takes your hand and she's She's crying a little bit. Just thank you, Jomar.
You are always welcome. I am here for you.
Excellent. Okay, and does anybody else have anybody that they wanted to talk to?
Jerry's my anchor, but he's not here, right? He's still on the run from the cops.
Right, and we will get back to Jerry. I have not forgotten him.
So, Jomar, you want to go introduce me to your sister over there?
Yeah. I wouldn't mind her meeting you. But if you're thinking of moving quick, bro,
No.
Go through me. But yeah, come on over and chat with her for a minute. I'd love for you to meet her.
Yeah.
Krista?
Yeah.
Hey, want to introduce you to one of my friends. I don't know that you know Brandon. He's in my history class.
Yeah, you work at the Walmart, right?
Right.
I've seen you
I'm
there.
famous. Well, it's good to meet you, Krista.
Hi, yeah, good to meet you too.
What kind of stuff are you into?
You put me on the spot.
Well, take your time. There's no rush. Just trying to make conversation and put you at ease. So
I mean, you put
don't
the
feel
game
need
master on the spot.
to dig really deep or anything. Now we know who you are, and I know who you are, and that kind of stuff. So now we're not strangers anymore. You can come up and say hey at any time.
We'll abstract it a little bit, and she tells you, a couple of bands that she likes and what she likes to do after school that I can't currently think of that a high school girl in the 80s would be into.
Leg warmers.
Leg warmers, right?
Hairspray.
Big hair.
Yep.
Bangles.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, Susanna Hoffs. She's hot.
Yep. And she actually does enjoy the Eurythmics.
Hey, so do I. I got a crush on Annie Lennox.
Dude, did that last tune that hit the radio was amazing, wasn't it?
No kidding. And Dave Stewart, man, I can play around a little bit on the soundboard, try to mix some things together, but he can do some amazing stuff.
Nice. Man, we'll probably have to write together. Yeah. Maybe we'll find some time, we'll write something together. How about that?
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'm not really much of a musician myself, but I can make the good things sound better.
Sounds good.
If I'm not mistaken, the Eurythmics was "Sweet Dreams Are Made of This," right?
Yep.
Wow. They also did a really great Winter Wonderland cover.
I can't help it. I've got to reveal this. Jomar, you have once again hit a remarkably prescient musical reference with that one.
Okay. Nice. I mean, anyway. I hope that's good.
Yeah, well, it's thematic at least.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to Kevin's clues. Did you want to talk to either of those people I suggested?
Yes. I think the cops. Karen.
Okay, because you want to hear me do that voice again, I'm sure.
Now, just to make sure, I was Karen back in the 60s. This is not the same Karen, right?
Correct. This is not the same Karen, although that is an interesting coincidence.
This is not the Karen you're looking for.
I would be interested to meet the Karen I was.
That happened to be recently in a game I'm in. I named a random NPC a name that happened to be the same name as a major character later in the story.
Well, that one's not my fault because Karen Richards was in the original Tales from the Loop book, and Karen that Kevin became was in the Out of Time module. So I did not pick those names. That's someone else's.
This is definitely not the Karen you're looking for.
Right. Anyway, I think I thought I'd seated Sarah, the bully, in at some point. I don't remember if we ever actually ran across her though.
The Wilderness which bully?
the bully girl from back in the 60s that swapped places with Peter?
I believe you.
Doesn't ring a bell.
I don't have her in my notes anywhere. Anyway, I thought I'd put her in there.
Yeah, I don't remember any time outside of the 60s.
That's because of your intake.
Anyway,
I was trying to keep it PG. Sorry.
so you're calling up Karen Richards at the police department. You get the desk sergeant at first, and you manage to get him to patch you through to her. And she says, Richards, who is this? Hello?
Yes, this is me.
Me? Oh, Kevin, is that you again?
Agent 36, you mean? But yes.
Right, Agent 36. What do you need today, Kevin?
I need information about a girl named Gina. Not Jenny, Gina.
Gina. Oh, the newspaper girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's still here, actually. What did you need to know?
Oh, she's still there?
Yeah, she's still here.
I was
We
just
didn't
wondering
think it
why
was a good idea to send her back out in this weather.
Oh. Do you know why she was here to begin with?
I'm not entirely certain how much I should say. Hang on a sec. You hear some rattling around and then a door closing. She says, "Okay, because it's you and because you've helped me out on some of these things before, I'll tell you a little bit. Some of those DARPA agents picked her up, and they say she saw something. They were real closed mouthed, keeping their teeth together about what it was. But they said she saw something up at the United Methodist Church in Boulder Beach, and they instructed her very firmly not to tell anybody what it was. And so she took them serious. They put the fear of God in her. She hasn't told me anything or any other police. She's been keeping her mouth closed and waiting for her parents to come pick her up. But whatever it was that she saw was up there at the church."
Oh, okay. Do you know where in the church?
She didn't say. But it's not a very big church, so it shouldn't be
Okay.
too terribly hard to find whatever it was if it's still there, or if they haven't cleaned it up yet.
Gotcha. Do you have my badge?
What happened to your badge?
Well, I needed a metal one.
Well, those things are restricted. We're not supposed to just give them out to anybody.
I mean, I'm not anybody.
Yes, well, I don't think that you're going to pass the background checks and the qualifications for the academy quite yet. So
Can I do a charm to get one? Some sort of badge?
you can make a roll.
I'm gonna do that.
You can always make a roll. One success. Okay. She says, "Okay, look, I can't give you like a badge, but how would you feel about a lanyard?"
Okay, I'll take it. I'll take it.
All right. Well, I'll get a card made up for you and get you a lanyard then.
Gotcha. Which gun do I get?
I am not giving you a gun. It's against the rules of this game.
Oh, my word.
Okay. Gonna be Kung Fu this time. Okay, we'll go on an undisclosed location to investigate then.
All right. I see a comment in the chat about needing another mode of transportation in the storm. If only
Yeah.
someone you knew had a big, heavy station wagon.
Is that? Oh man, who has a big heavy station wagon, guys?
I just was gonna figure the Boys and Girls Club maybe had a van we could acquire.
Oh,
Jomar has a car.
oh, yeah, we'll take your car.
It's an 80 station wagon. It'll fit 5 easily.
Oh, yeah.
My
That's a
old
big,
Dodge, My old
Bonneville station wagon.
Yeah, my old Dodge Airy sat 6.
Yeah, this will do 8 comfortable.
All right. So then, what is your next move?
Oh, we want to go take that car.
All right. Let me take a look at my countdown here. Give you an encounter on the way. All right. So you set back out into the storm on your way over to Jomar's place, and you see that the police and some of the more of those agents have started setting up barricades here and there in the area. A guy comes out of his house as you're making your way and is demanding to know why they're putting this barrier up in front of his house. They say, well, there's been some fallen wires and some trees that have been knocked over by the storm. We just want to make sure everybody's safe. Of course, the thing about trees is patently absurd because this is Boulder City and there aren't any trees. So you managed to get over to Jomar's place, and the car is there. Now, remember that Jomar, it is not technically legal for you to drive except to school or work while you just have your learner's permit. So be careful.
Yes.
That means
Like I was the last time.
That
There
means
were
if you get pulled
extenuating
over,
circumstances.
means if you get pulled over, you need to hold it such a way that covers the word learners.
Yeah, I have part of that covered up to where it says leaners
A leaner's permit.
because we lean. The car leans a little bit.
Well, you
And
like to
there's
wear
no
your denim
hydraulics.
jacket with the collar popped and lean
Yes.
on stuff.
That's right.
But see,
That's
my
right.
adopted name is Leaner. You know.
Oh, okay.
Right, and as you noticed before, the compass on your dashboard is spinning madly, continuing to not point north.
Yep.
Round, round it goes.
Okay, so we're in the car.
I presume so, unless you had
All right.
something else you wanted to do.
No. I want to find out who is my navigator, and I want to know which way we're going.
Well, I'm pretty good with that kind of stuff. If you want to take me along, give me something to do. No school, no work right now.
Does that fit the story, Brian? Can Brandon go with us? You
Yeah,
guys
absolutely.
Okay, with that? Okay, cool.
He's already good friends with Kevin, so
Oh, sweet. All right. Rock
and there's
on.
no school.
That's right. It's out for summer.
Well, it's barely started after summer, and
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
all right. So the 2 clues that I had provided you are the Nelson Ranch, where you've been before, and that United Methodist Church is up there at the
Yep.
Boulder Beach Campground.
We're heading to the church.
Church first, okay.
Yeah, the car kind of goes that way because, we've been a while since we've had a good service. So, yeah,
Goes to church because we lean.
that's right.
All right, so you make your way up the highway, and thanks to the car's very heavy frame, the wind doesn't bother you too much. It tries to blow you off the road a couple of times, but you got a steady hand.
She may be big and heavy, but she moves along pretty good down the road.
And as you pull up there, you see that the police have barricaded some of the smaller roads leading up toward the church. And they're far enough back that somebody who didn't know that they were already looking at the church would think, well, maybe they're barricading like the beach to prevent people from going swimming in this weather, which I don't know why anybody would want to go swimming in this weather, but maybe they're being a little surreptitious about it. But since you know that there's something going on in the church, it seems obvious to you that that's what they're trying to protect. You were in the eastern part of Boulder City down there. There's the school. Jomar's house is somewhere in the town. It's a pretty small town, so it's pretty much all the same. And it doesn't take you very long at all. 9 clicks as the crow flies, so it's like maybe a 10-minute drive. All right, so you don't see much in the way of police personnel, but there is one interesting-looking robot that looks oddly familiar. I have kind of a picture of it, if I can find... you see a robot that looks an awful lot like your good friend Asimov, except without all the graffiti. And it is patrolling the area around the church.
Okay. I'm slowing up if I get wind of him. Do I notice him before he notices us?
It's hard to say because it doesn't have a head or a face to speak of. You think it's, based on your experience with Asimov, you think it's a pretty good chance that it's aware of the car. But as long as you're like on the road and not trying to cross the barricades, you think probably it will assume that you're okay.
Yeah, I am going to slow down though. Not to a crawl, but just slow down to where we can kind of observe what we can see.
The parking lot's empty. The church itself is a pretty standard small A-frame type church with it's like the narthex out front, and then a fellowship hall off to one side, and then the A-frame roof and a little steeple over the sanctuary. It holds maybe 130 people in the chapel, although the average Sunday attendance is somewhat lower, maybe 30 or 40 people. But a lot of vacationers like to pop in when they're in town, to go to church while they're on vacation. So they have capacity for a lot more than they actually attend.
Can we tell if there is a way around these barricades that maybe there's a place we could slip in, mostly unnoticed or completely unnoticed?
If you park the car down the road a ways and then come back in on foot, then you should be able to maybe slip in, when the robot's on like the other side of the property. It would require a sneak or move roll from each of you, from anybody who wants to go in.
All right, so I'm going to kind of look at the fellows and say, I think there's some ways that we could get into this, get past this barricade to maybe check out the church, and maybe this robot that looks like Asimov, maybe it's his evil twin, I don't know. Maybe he won't be able to see us. Are you guys okay with us trying to get through there?
Technically, I don't think robots can have twins.
Yeah, maybe not. I don't know.
I don't know if they're off the same production line at the same time.
Yeah.
But I think they need parents for that.
I don't know. I haven't seen where robots come from. They might have a robot mummy and a robot daddy.
I will say, by the way, this robot looks brand spanking new.
Okay.
I mean, it's shiny. It doesn't have much in the way of dirt on it at all.
Wow.
And you've never actually seen one of these robots other than Asimov before.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna pull the car down. You'd say, could I go about 50 yards or so? Do I need to go more than like 100 yards or so?
Yeah, let's say that you find a little pull in about 50 yards down, and there's some big boulders surrounding it that actually give you a little bit of protection from the wind for a few moments.
Okay. Is there anything that can fall on top of the car?
We'll say no.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Yeah, just set your mind at ease that the car is not in danger at this time.
Yeah, I don't want to have to face that again.
But I will help you sneak into sneak in.
So we'll pull over behind this somewhat of a rock edging or whatever. And Cody, do you have your lasso with you?
Always.
Sweet. Always can count on
You want
Cody.
to have a robot rodeo?
Well, it has helped us in the past, and I'll tell you, there's not a better roper than Mr. Cody.
We have avoided explicit rodeos, though, through no effort of mine.
Well, I didn't want you getting in any more fights, so I had to join the hockey team instead.
Yeah.
Ouch.
All right, so you slip up to roughly the edge of the outer radius where this robot's been patrolling, and you've watched it enough that you got an idea of how long it's taking to do its circuit. But you also know that its sensors are quite powerful. So you're going to need 2 successes
Okay.
per anybody going in. And again, sneak or move will work.
Good night. Greg!
It's the beginning
Is
of the
that
night.
your
I always
first
have
roll?
my first rolls are always really good, and then after that,
You know, if I
nothing.
was sitting next to you right now, I'd give you the biggest hug. That was amazing.
How much are we all wanting to go in together? Because my sneak isn't good.
Yeah, my
No.
sneak is not that good either.
So remember,
Metagaming, we can use those
move will also work
Lexus ones.
if your move is better.
Okay, yeah. I can just try to go quick then.
Mine are exactly the same.
Mine. All right, I'll try it.
Nice.
Oh man.
Okay.
Oh. Whew.
Well, now remember what I said. You needed 2 successes each.
I know.
Because the...
Mhm.
So right now we have
I'm the utter failure.
only 1 bonus success, which could help either Kevin or Jomar. Who would you like to give it to, Berlin?
I'll be nice to give it to Jomar since he drove us up here.
Okay.
He risked
That's
driving
awfully
us.
kind of you.
All right, so Kevin and Brandon, appropriately since they're already friends,
Mhm.
we'll say you're at the back of the group. Everybody has dashed across the gravel and gotten up against the church pretty fast, but you weren't quite fast enough, and the robot, comes around the corner right then, and he gives this womp womp alert, and it starts kind of sprinting towards you. It's prancing in the weird way that it has, like one of those Boston Dynamics
The
4-legged robots.
Boston, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Right.
yeah.
The way they kind of prance, it's doing that.
This is quite disturbing.
And these little ports on its legs open up.
Is that a friendly gesture? Have you seen these things before?
Kevin, were you in the junkyard?
Oh yeah, we blew up a bus.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, because his foot got bent or something.
So you'll remember that the robot is probably going to fire tranquilizer darts at you.
Oh.
Okay. So I'm like, Brandon, we need to get out of here really fast. I mean, in the shorter term, run. And especially run away.
I think that sounds like a good idea.
Okay, so you both
On 3.
you both take to your heels and run away from the robot. And as you're doing so, there is like a flicker of light and a little bit of it feels like the world wobbles a little bit. And almost before you can react, you run right into one of those
Just with the trank
bubbles.
darts, everything's getting all weird on me here. Dang it.
No, it's not the trank darts. You run into one of those time bubbles.
Oh no.
The
Excellent.
world wobbles around you, and you tumble out of the sky and land on top of an old rusty bus. Yes, Berlin called it.
Weird. I'm pretty sure there wasn't an old rusty bus below me just a second ago. Did I miss something?
Oh,
What's going on,
dude,
Kevin?
we are in the past. Oh, well, I look around, and I presume I figure out we're in the past.
Yeah, it's rather cool. It's nighttime now, and looking around, you see that you're in that old junkyard where you first talked to Mr. Hernandez about time travel. And a few moments later,
How do we get back?
well, you can see kind of far away. You fell out of the bubble from above, and you can see about 30 yards away, just inside the fence line, you can see the edge of the bubble. And based on Kevin's previous experience, probably if you can get to the edge of the bubble, you'll be able to get out. But while you're coming to this conclusion, that robot falls out of the sky and clangs. Fortunately, it's got a little bit more inertia than you did, and so it crashes to the ground right next to the bus and kind of tumbles a couple of times. And you can see some springs and the darts go scattering out across the turf. And it's lying on its back, and its legs are moving kind of fitfully. It seems to be quite damaged.
So if we turn it back over, will it like be our friend, or should we just run away?
Give me a calculate roll. You're not sure.
0 on 10. All right.
I will say from a metagaming perspective that Greg called this a little while ago. And this robot is, in fact, probably Asimov, who was found in this very same junkyard like 2 years ago. So.
Way to call it, Greg.
Okay.
It was described too well of looking just like Asimov. We're dealing with time portals here.
Yeah, pretty obvious.
It's brand new Asimov. I am curious how Asimov got graffitied on, though.
You were just putting
because it grew up in a junkyard.
together,
Come on.
Sorry, go ahead.
So you got graffiti because you grew up in a junkyard.
Hey, don't call East Germany a junkyard. That's West Germany.
Excuse me.
Oh, wait,
actually, the robot is Swiss. So.
And I got the East and West
manufactured by Saab. Yeah.
Autonomer Sicherheitsroboter Model 5.
Easy, big fella. All right.
Sicherheitsroboter.
All right. So did we notice...
Well, the Swiss robot now looks like Swiss cheese.
So, Brian, can I roll to see if we notice that they fell in and they're not with us?
I'm going to say that you don't need to roll for that. You heard the robot coming around the corner, and you heard Kevin say, "We should run." And you looked back, and you saw them taking off, and the robot chasing them.
Oh, great!
And now you can see that there's a large time bubble, hanging there in the middle of the this gravel area outside the church. And you happen to be right next to one of the...
What'd be really nice now is a lasso. If somebody could throw a lasso from the future, dangle it in the bubble, and pull us back to the present, right?
That is certainly a possibility.
I can try. Objects didn't work so well last time, but I'll give it a shot. What should I use for that? Force move? Tinker? Tinker.
I would say it would be a force roll.
Okay.
To be able to haul them up.
Can I give him inspiration?
Let's try it.
You don't need to. It looks like he's got it.
Kevin, to get back to the future, we have to get into that bubble that is up over our heads now, right? So if we do the cupped hands and jump, either I could maybe help throw you up there, or you could throw me. I don't know if we can be like halfway in and halfway out, but whichever of us gets up there could like lead in and reach a hand down, if that's possible. Something like that. Oh my God, is that a rope?
And from both of your
perspectives, ropes and cameras, it turns out.
This is a very odd experience because the bubble is turned 90 degrees toward, so Cody is looking in and he throws his lasso in, and from his perspective, it goes straight out, even though from Brandon and Kevin's perspective, it's coming down. And they're looking up and they're seeing Cody like standing sideways, looking down at them.
Oh, that's weird.
I wave sideways. Well, let's grab on. What do you say? I'm grabbing. I suggest you grab too, Kevin.
Sure, let's do it.
All right.
Let's help pull them back in.
The group
on the anchor
hauls you up / sideways back into normal time. And just as you're coming out, the bubble starts to turn opaque again, and you can look down and you can see that robot still on the ground, and its legs have stopped moving.
Sorry, Mr. Robot.
All right.
Hey, I wonder if he's still there.
That's a good question.
All right, so presumably you want to go into the church now.
Yeah. Do we know that there's a door that we could get through, or a window or something? Do we notice that anything is maybe propped open or not fully locked or something like that?
You go around and you're testing doors, and you find that the side door that leads into the little kitchen for the fellowship hall
Ooh.
is unlocked. Oh, I didn't ask you. You'd made a big deal about wanting sandwiches while you were in the kitchen of the school. Did you feed yourselves while you were there?
No, I was looking for food as well. Sorry.
Well, you've
And
got another
if
opportunity.
If Mrs. Dermeyer's left her turkey and cheese and sandwiches in their fridge, uh, I'm in, man.
Oh yeah, there's some leftover sandwiches in the fridge. Looks like there was
Rule
a
number one of being a teenager is to eat whenever there is food.
Yes.
there's some orange juice in there. It's not actually orange juice. It's that
Yeah.
weird orange drink that they have at churches.
Oh yeah.
I also kind of figure like those Oreo knockoffs where one cookie is brown and the other cookie's that like yellow
Right.
color.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
every third one doesn't have quite enough white filling.
Yeah. Wow, you can tell me I grew up in church in the
Hello?
80s, the 90s.
Come on. Brian, is there
These things
once we
seem
get in
familiar.
and we're kind of munching out, is there anything that we can like? Do we feel any of that strange, not vibration, but just that force? Can we feel any weirdness inside the church?
Not where you're at right now,
Okay.
but as you explore, you go and you push your way into the chapel, and you do feel it in there. And there's well, first of all, there's some large puddles in the middle of the floor, and a scissor lift in the middle aisle. It seems to be like there's a leak in the roof or something. And when you look up to see, what was the scissor lift doing there, you see that there's another one of those shimmering time fields up there, and it's radiating this blue light. It almost feels like you're underwater. And you could bring the scissor lift down. You don't not sure why anybody left it up there, or you can go up some stairs, and there's like a little balcony up above. You don't see any measuring equipment, any of the electronics that you saw at the previous area.
And no green screens?
No green screens. No.
Apple IIe's?
Nope, none of
Oh,
that. Just the
okay.
scissor lift and the bubble up there. You could try to get to it from the balcony. You'd have to like stretch out and maybe jump if you wanted to go into it for
Ooh,
some reason.
crazy.
Or you could use the scissor lift with the tinker roll to get up there.
Does it look like anyone has been in this room within the last hour or so? Can we tell?
You figure if anybody had been, would probably have left footprints from the puddles, and you don't see
Oh,
any signs of footprints.
okay. Okay.
So apparently they just had enough time to put up their barricades, and they're taking care of other anomalies elsewhere first before they get set up here. So you may have a little bit of time, but probably not like more than an hour or so.
Can we see through it?
You can see through it, but it looks weird. It looks like it doesn't have that milky appearance. It looks like it's currently transparent, but it's bluish and it's wobbly.
Like it's unstable?
Maybe it doesn't look like the other ones when they were transitioning or anything.
Oh crap! This doesn't sound good, guys. I don't trust this one. This doesn't look right.
Well, that could mean that it's worse than the others. It could mean it's better than the others.
Valid point.
Glass is usually half full, isn't it, Brandon?
Does anybody want to make the attempt?
Yeah, is there something we could tie his rope to here, relatively close to it?
You could probably use the scissor lift if you wanted to go that route. Tie it to the rail.
Yeah, I mean, just in case this ends up a mile in the air, reaching a rope down is not going to help pull anybody back.
I'd look out for any more robots and people.
Oh, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, if we have something good as secure, I'll go through.
Okay, so Jomar is remaining behind. Berlin is going through. Who else is going through?
I'll go through.
I'll go through as well.
Okay. What about Brandon?
I would recommend just one person going through on the recon attempt. If it's safe, we bring you right back, and then we can send more people in. But I don't want to find out that it's a bad place we won't be able to get back from.
Dave, that's usually not this group's modus operandi, but it's a really good suggestion.
Yes, he's the bookworm. He's the brainy nerd type.
He's genre savvy.
Right.
Yeah.
I look over at Brandon and say, that attitude's not going to win it with the ladies.
Until you look, 10 years out, and I'm the one that has money.
Wow.
10 years? The 90s are going to be crazy.
Hey, ladies like the brains, dude.
Yeah, by the time the 90s come around, we'll all be living on spaceships and traversing the galaxies.
Okay, George Jetson.
That totally seems legit.
We already have robots that do everything for us. Come on, guys. We even have our own robot butler.
I know. All right. Anybody staying with me, or is everybody going in?
We'll be living out in space. Sounds cool, man. Sign me up.
So yes, who's going? Has Brandon changed anybody's mind?
No.
Probably not.
If multiple people are going through, I want to go through with them.
Okay. Everybody who's going needs to make a move roll, please.
No.
Except...
All right, except for Berlin and Jomar. But he's not going.
Nope.
Okay, we got...
That's what...
Good night, guys. Way to go.
Move rolls in excess here. Let's check the handouts. Move, bonus effects, give a success or impress someone or no one notices you. None of those are really... anybody wants to do something fancy going through, that's fine.
I just want to not have to ever roll again.
Well, let me tell you what happens as you go through.
Uh-oh.
When you go through the membrane, you end up underwater. The water is murky and very warm, but the surface is only like just a couple of feet up. So you go in and you immediately rise to the surface and break through. Once there, you can see that the landscape is just barren. It's just as rocky as where you came from, but the rocks are like a dark gray or black, and there's some low, sharp mountains nearby. You're in this like hot spring with a dense steam rising up out of it. And about 50 meters off in any direction, you notice the shimmering edge of the bubble. And in the water a little further away, there's something just under the surface. There's 3 small spheres together in a net, surrounded by a small rotating ring. Bubbles seem to be drawn into the ring through the spheres before continuing up and breaking the surface. So it's like pulling the bubbles from the hot spring in, and they're bubbling up to the surface. And you recognize this technology. It's very similar to the time anchors that you've seen before, except this one is much, much smaller. It's about the size of a basketball.
Okay, wait. Say again. Where are we? Do we recognize where we are or not?
No, this does not look familiar to you. Actually, make an investigate check if you want to try and determine. All right.
Right.
Berlin, you spend a lot of time looking at like National Geographics and stuff like that, and you recognize this terrain looks an awful lot like an article that you read about Iceland.
Okay.
Hey boys, good news.
You want to look around anymore?
Yeah, probably a good idea.
All right.
This might be where they made the robots.
So you crawl out of the hot spring. It's pretty cool here, being Iceland. Lives up to its name. and you're all wet. So you don't want to spend a whole lot of time here.
Yeah.
But you crest a hill and you look down and you can see what looks like an air base, like way outside the bubble's membrane. And it looks, see, you got 2 bonus successes, so it looks American and military. And then, in addition, in the air above you, there are a lot more of these time bubbles. And they're varying in size from just maybe as wide as your shoulders to several meters.
Oh. Okay.
And we can't see through them enough to see what's on the other side.
They're pretty far away, and they distort things. They like lens the light, so it's hard to see what's on the other side of most of them, and they're all too high to reach anyway.
Okay. Well, guys, is there anything worth looking at here?
I don't know. Does anybody have a piece of paper?
I do. I look in my pocket, but my water gun has leaked on it some, so it's only like half the
To say nothing of the hot spring that you just came out of.
I was going to say, throw a paper airplane through one of them, or at least try to.
It's an interesting idea. While you're talking,
alter history.
You hear something start to move in the grass not far away. And there's a chirping sound like a bird, but it sounds much bigger than a bird.
I want to see what it is because I'm very, very intrigued now.
Ooh, okay. I got a bad feeling about this.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's probably very, very dangerous.
It's up to you.
Oh, we're going for it.
Okay. Do you approaching openly, or do you want to sneak, or do anything else?
Yeah, I think
sneak and look.
All right.
There we go.
And Kevin, sneak with your jacket.
Okay. Oh. Okay. So sneak plus 2 dice.
Perfect. So you creep forward, and you see that it's a young pterodactyl.
Ooh.
And it's looking really nervous, and it darts its head forward at you a couple of times and snaps. But it doesn't look like it really wants to attack you.
They eat corn, right?
Pterodactyl is carnivorous.
Oh. They eat Cody.
But if you wanted to try and do something with it, you could either try and capture it in your jacket, wrap your jacket around it, which is why I had you roll that. Or you can attempt a charm roll.
Oh, I want to do a charm roll.
I figured you might. And you may once again use the jacket.
Okay.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, so you reach your hand out real slow, and then you remember that Jomar gave you some of his jerky a little bit ago because you were feeling hungry. Or maybe you had one of those sandwiches in your pocket.
Yeah, I gave
saving for later. So you grab the sandwich and you give that to it, and it darts its head forward and it grabs a sandwich and gobbles it down. And then it tilts its head and makes a little chirrup sound. And it moves forward a couple steps. You give it the rest of the sandwich, and you now got this little dinosaur that seems to have imprinted on you.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
And I assume that Cody is probably still back near the edge of the hot spring with his rope.
Yeah, I'm not
wanting to fall back into the real
sneaking.
world.
Yeah. Do we want to bring him home, or are you going to leave him here?
We're bringing him home.
Yes. Isaac can take care of him, right?
Oh, yeah. It's very discreet. I mean, we had a talking bird and nobody noticed that.
I don't know what's going on because I'm outside, but I have this really weird feeling that something's about to change.
It's a new friend for Adrian.
Right. So that's about all there is to do in this particular bubble. So you get your new little friend back over to the hot spring, and you You cover his eyes as you plunge through and land back onto that scissor lift. I'm not entirely certain how the physics of that work, going down out of the water through the membrane and back into the church. But you're accompanied by a lot of very sulfurous-smelling water. And down on the floor, Jomar and Brandon see you come out, and you've got this bird thing wrapped in your coat.
We have a new friend.
What is that, Berlin?
Which one of you turned into a pterodactyl?
You brought a pterodactyl back?
It's not the first time something's come back from then.
Oh, brother.
Did you go to the land of the lost?
Not for the first time. Well, for me, yes. For them, no.
How are you going to take... Do you know how big these things grow?
We got Isaac for that.
It's probably going to eat Isaac. As big as it
No.
gets.
We're going to feed it a lot of coffee. It'll stun its growth.
Oh. That sounds really humane.
It's probably a herbivore, not a machinivore.
Okay, so you mean... Okay, never mind. I was going to say something about introducing him our new friend, Herb, but no. Okay. Do you think that anyone's coming back to the church, Brian?
Me? I think probably eventually someone's going to come there.
Okay.
Not now. That's not pterodactyls. No.
Okay.
It's like bats in the belfry.
Okay, if this thing poops in the car, you're cleaning it up.
That's what we have Kevin's coat for. It's like a diaper.
Oh, man.
No, take all the handouts from the church here and spread them out like newspapers.
Okay. Because I was going to say that jacket becomes a -2 if he poops in it. Sorry, Kev.
Or we could strap him to the roof.
Golly.
I don't think we want to fly yet.
I don't see how strapping Kevin to the roof is going to help him.
We've already made fun of the car from Vacation. Let's not talk about strapping people to the roof with that.
All right, come on, guys, over to the fellowship hall. I saw some towels over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the baptistry must have something.
Are we ready to roll out, or do we need to investigate a little more?
I don't have anything more to give you here, so you've...
Okay. Yeah. All right, I guess we'll get some towels and stuff.
All right. Between the towels you find go with the baptistry and a lot of church bulletins that you paper the back of the station wagon with, you get the pterodactyl settled down, give it some more sandwiches.
Quick question, Brian. As we've gone back to the car, we've lined it with paper and whatever else there, paper towels, whatever. Are we seeing any other possible movement around the church? Maybe someone coming to check it out, or maybe any more anomalies?
Actually, yeah. Besides the one that opened up that swallowed Kevin and Brandon a little bit ago, you are just getting the pterodactyl buttoned down in the back of the station wagon when an unmarked black car, but it has lights flashing in it, like the unmarked police cars do, pulls up in front of the church, and two more of those black-clad agents get out, and they start walking around, opposite directions around the exterior of the church, and they seem to be wondering what happened to the robot.
Okay. Would I be far enough away to start up the car and not alert them?
Yeah. You start it up and you drive away nice and slowly.
I'm going away from it, not going to go by it.
Right, to the north.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get far enough down that you are out of eye and earshot, and then you can turn around and come back and not look suspicious.
Okay.
How do you pronounce that name?
Terry. Yeah.
Pateri or Terry? Oh, the P is silent.
Yep. Pterodactyl.
Quantum Childhood will return after this word from our sponsor.
When you're ready to take care of weeds, for good.
Jocks Jams, Jocks Jams.
20-year-old purple bell pepper jam and jelly. Good.
With the Sentry Mode 6 Neurocaster, a new reality is finally within orbit.
Devastation by Cabot, a new fragrance from the Min-Max podcast.
All right, so where to next?
Let's see. So we're driving back south again, right?
Yep.
All right. So we're going to head towards...
Was there a dinosaur bird sanctuary nearby?
Well, do we want to go to the Nelson
Yeah,
Ranch?
we need to check the ranch out real quick because maybe some other pterodactyls are there or something. I don't know.
It seems to be
on the way
feeling
back
safe
anyway.
here and warm, and it has fallen asleep.
Hey.
Aww.
Oh, he looks just like you.
That was to you, Greg. Wasn't to me.
They're so cute at that age, in between the Mesozoic and Paleozoic.
How long does it take us to get down to the ranch?
Oh, just like 5 minutes or so.
Okay. Is it afternoon yet?
It's probably 2 or 3 o'clock by now.
Okay.
If school were in session, you would still be in school.
Okay. Any change in the weather that we can tell?
That is an excellent question. Let me check my countdown again.
Okay.
How you know when school opens back up? We'll get extra credit in history for this.
That and maybe biology, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was going to say this would be something our old math teacher would have loved.
Yeah. God rest his
Before
soul.
we lost him in the 60s.
Right, so as
too bad we lost him in the 60s.
As you're driving to the south, the storm's intensity starts to increase. The temperature is dropped rather significantly. There's now sand and even like water coming in from the lake being blasted against the windows of your car.
Might be a good idea to head back home now. Because none of us can legally drive, and this is not our car.
Well, it's Jomar's car.
Yeah. As long as I don't scratch it, I should be good.
I was going to say we probably need to go to the hideout to drop off Terry. I don't know how well he'll do bringing him home.
Did you want to stop at the Nelson Ranch on the way back, though?
Probably at least for a quick check.
Yeah, just a quick check.
All right. As you approach, you can already see that there's something going on there. There are more police blockades on the gravel road leading up to it. DARPA has put this fence around the entire property. And there's a military truck and one of the black cars parked across the entry road. And half of the fence has already been covered with this black tarp. There's 3 workers in blue coveralls, one of those black-clad agents, and an armed soldier. The guys in coveralls are putting more tarp up on the fence. And the soldier is walking a slow circuit around the property. The agent is standing by the cars and he's on the phone. Well, he's on a radio, not the phone, because this is the 80s and we didn't have cell phones, except for the giant car phones.
And I don't think Jomar has one of those in his car.
Well,
no, we were going to
might.
get one for Christmas, and it just they ran out of stuff. Can we get around any of the blockades without being noticed?
Based on your previous experience with the Nelson Ranch, you know that if you were to pull off the road and around back where Joan takes her truck back there to load up her crates when she's selling eggs by the hen houses, and you know that is out of sight of the main road, and normally it would be visible from the farmhouse, but they've put that tarp up between here and there, And so you wouldn't have nobody would have a direct line of sight on you going that direction.
Yeah.
The blockades only stop the sane ways of entry.
Right.
All right, let's head towards that rear area.
Okay. All right.
I'm trying to remember. Have I been here in this universe?
Were you with us for the animal arc with Mr. Hernandez?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, this is the same ranch with the all of the automated.
Yeah, and the horse was stolen.
The horse was stolen.
Right.
It had the automated doors on the barn and all of that.
That's it.
Yeah, I was trying to remember since I couldn't remember if I'd been here in this universe or the other one first. Probably both.
No, we didn't get this far in the other one. Nelson Ranch didn't exist until we started this module.
Okay.
All right, so you pull around and you're back by the hen houses, and they've been excluded from the perimeter. It looks like it's just surrounding the main house and the barn, and the outer lying areas of the ranch are still outside the fence. So you can see in the pasture there's a couple of horses that are still out there, and they're running around the pasture in circles. They look really nervous about the wind and the weather. And you can see that there's another one of those vortices. The air is twisting and circling over the barn.
Okay, I won't park too close to the barn.
Okay. And this is another situation where you can do move rolls to get over the fence without being seen, or you could try a social approach. The agent, after talking on his walkie-talkie for a while, has actually left. He's driven off, so it's just the soldier left, and the guys in the coveralls putting up tarp.
Let's see. I'm gonna try. After I've parked a little ways there, I'm gonna try a move roll.
Okay. Anybody going with Jomar?
I'm going with him.
Boy, that's not good.
No, also not good.
Nope.
I don't think anybody's going.
Well, I'm going down, I guess.
Cody, you're our best hope. You roll with your rope.
You can do it.
To move? Where are we with the chickens?
They're wanting to go over the fence.
Oh, over the fence. Yeah, no, a rope can work there then.
You can do it. You can.
Oh.
Never mind.
All right. You do have the option of pushing or
Luck.
using your pride or luck. I don't think Brandon and Jomar have luck.
No, I do not.
I will burn my luck.
Brandon has luck.
Reroll.
Brandon has a luck.
Yeah.
Because if there's
Well,
any
let's
roll,
let,
I should reroll.
Cody re-roll with his luck because he's got the best chance of.
There we go.
Okay, so you got one bonus success. That'll help one person.
Yes.
So anybody else who wants to spend luck or push? To push, you click re-roll and then tick one of your conditions.
And to do luck is what?
For luck, you just click re-roll and then remove the check mark on your luck point.
Okay.
And you won't
All
get
right.
that back this scenario. So, okay, was that luck
Hey,
or
all right.
pushing?
I'll keep the luck. I'll just give myself pushing, and condition is going to be injured. I sprained my ankle going over the fence.
Okay. All right, so everybody is over, assuming that Cody is okay giving his bonus success to Jomar.
Is that cool, Cody?
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks.
All right. So with the assistance of the lasso, you managed to get over the fence. So you've gone over here by the hen house. If you wanted to slip into the barn, you can do so. Actually, it looks like that you might have been able to get into the barn even without going through the fence, but whatever. You're through.
Okay.
And once you're in the barn, you see yet another bubble. It doesn't seem to have the same tempo as the ones you saw earlier. As soon as you come in, it turns opaque, but then just like a minute or so later, it's transparent again, and it stays that way for a few minutes, and then it turns opaque for a few minutes while you're observing it. And when you can see through it, you see that it looks like it's leading into some kind of a forest. A lot of green leaves and trees and stuff.
This one doesn't look so bad. Well, I'm going to go in once this changes again.
All right. I'm standing guard.
If we're not in, we can't. We can only see, right? We can't like feel what the weather in there is like.
Right. It's visual only if you're not inside. Brandon's going in. Who else? I guess it's only the only other person who's got the option is Cody.
Yeah, I should. Can I hook the lasso on something
Oh yeah, there's lots of stuff in here
as I go
to
in?
tie it to.
Yeah, I want to tie myself off and I'll go in after him.
All right. On the other side, Jomar's standing guard outside, petting a horse that's still in the barn. On the other side is oppressively warm and extremely humid. And there's like this, it's raining lightly, continually. And this bubble appears to be pretty big, about 100 meters in diameter. It's a really big
Wow.
one. The membrane shimmers weakly and almost, you take a few steps away and it almost disappears in the fog that's rising up from the ground. And you can see up in a tree there is some kind of another device. It's been kind of disguised with camouflage netting, but this close to it you can see what it is. It looks like a set of giant wind chimes almost. And there's another turbine in the center of it turning really slowly. Looking up near it, you can see that there's yet another bubble inside this bubble. And this one, as you're looking at it, it doesn't ever turn completely transparent, but you can see a shadowy human-shaped figure inside.
Moving around?
Yes.
Does it appear to be like in distress or trapped in the bubble or just doing its thing?
As you watch, you see a hand press against the membrane and kind of push on it. It doesn't look panicked, but it looks like whoever it is would probably like to get out.
And this one is with the device was up in the tree. Is the bubble also up in the tree or where?
Yeah, the bubble is also in the tree, but it's got a lot of stout horizontal branches. It looks like it would be almost as easy to climb this tree as it would a ladder.
Yeah. Okay. Man, Cody, I twisted my ankle when we jumped over the fence. You think you could take that? Looks like he could use a hand, whoever he is.
Maybe. Yeah, watch that rope to see we don't get trapped in here. And then, yeah, I'll try to climb up, I guess.
All right. So this is like I said, it's an easy climb, so I'm not going to make you roll for it or anything.
Yep.
But you get up there, and as you're drawing closer to it, the smoky membrane starts to clear a little bit.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't turn completely transparent, but you can now see that there's a woman in her 60s, and you recognize her. This is Kim Johnson, the camp leader. As you climb up, she seems to have seen you, and she's leaning against the bubble, and she gets her face really close to it. She's got a heavy backpack on the ground next to her that's got some kind of a device in it. And she leans forward and as soon as she notices that you've seen her, she's like waving at you.
Okay.
And she points to the backpack and she starts making these signs, and she makes a big circle with her fingers and points to the center of it, and then she like draws a line down here and makes another sign, miming things at you. You make a roll for
him, I guess.
Right, either empathize or comprehend to try and understand what she's trying to tell you.
Nope.
All right.
So what's she doing up there?
I don't know. I try to replicate some of the symbols.
All right. Well, if you're doing a monkey see, monkey do thing, how about Brandon can give me a comprehend or empathize roll? There we
My
go.
first success of the evening.
And a
I had to get injured first. Yeah.
First success of the game.
Yep.
All right. So the bonus effect, I'll go ahead and pop that up on your screen so you can see it. You get additional information and a +1 bonus die to one roll when you use that information. Based on the gestures that Cody is relaying to you, you think she's trying to draw a map with sign language. The big circle is the loop, and then she points to the center, and that's probably the cooling towers or the graviton.
Yeah,
and then
the big nuclear center thing, right?
Right, and then she made the sign, the sign language sign for F. And you think that she's trying to tell you to go through the Foxtrot Gate. to get into the loop facility.
Okay.
And then right before the membrane starts to turn opaque again, you see her just shout, "Help me!" And Cody, you can see that quite clearly. You can read her lips. And then the membrane flickers and turns transparent, but she's not there anymore. And instead, you're looking at what looks like the interior of somebody's garage.
All right. I don't think there's anything much for us here, unless we want to try going through another one. If you, what do you think?
It was just that one bubble inside this big bubble, right?
Yeah.
Yep. And the strange variant time anchor.
Yeah.
Because, do you want to try to go overland to where she was pointing stuff out?
It sounded like, she said to go through the F gate and see what we could find there. Probably a way to help her in some way. I'm up for it. What do you say?
Sounds good.
All right.
I'll back out one layer.
Be down there, ready to catch in case he falls or something like that, but it's a pretty easy climb.
Right, so you come back down out of the tree and exit the bubble. And I presume catch Jomar up on what you saw in there.
Yep. So what do you guys want to do about this?
Oh man, it feels so much nicer out here. Whew. Well, she gave us a treasure map of go in through the gate F at the facility, and maybe that's where she is. I don't know, or where she was.
Did you guys recognize her?
You did, right? I didn't get a look at her.
Yeah, it was that. It was the camp counselor.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Nope.
Wow.
Yeah, definitely in something was up.
Okay. Well.
And Foxtrot Gate. That's what Brandon thinks she was
Foxtrot Gate. Okay.
talking about. I don't think we've been out there before. That's off 93 as well, but further up than when we went out into the desert.
It's actually really, really close to where you are right now.
Yes.
So we just need to head back north to get towards that area.
Which maybe I should have had her tell you the Echo Gate. We'll pretend she said E instead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Echo Gate. Okay.
There's at least one more encounter that I need to give you before you get there. So.
Okay.
Well, in that case, Echo Gate we have been to before, I think.
Oh, that was probably early on, wasn't it?
Or we've passed it by. Yeah, that was when the beacon was making people act weird.
Oh, right.
Which does make sense. I wonder if that just got fired up again.
All right, so we'll load up.
Wouldn't that be nice?
We'll load everybody up and we'll head towards Echo Gate.
All right, so you managed to slip back over the fence back to the car and catch Kevin up to what you were doing, repeating all the story for a second time.
And Berlin.
And Berlin, right. I keep forgetting Berlin wasn't there with you.
Yeah, this time I didn't. Oh.
All right, so the car makes things weird for me a little bit.
Do you want me to drive faster or slower?
No, the next encounter doesn't work while you're in the car, so I guess I have to give it to you right here.
Well, we could end up having to pull over, right?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Okay. So if we head south down to 93, like we're going to go around the bottom of the south of the cooling towers, if we have to pull over down there for, I think Berlin had to pee.
Okay. Weren't we going to the Foxtrot Gate?
Well, we
No,
were.
I retconned that. It's the Echo Gate now.
Okay.
Because I didn't want it to be like right there.
Yeah, I'm like this. That's like 20 feet.
Yeah.
A lot
I
of
wasn't
that
looking at the map.
orange is working
I wasn't
on
looking at the map when I was writing my notes.
Yeah, we don't have to drive anywhere. We could just turn around and throw a rock.
Right.
It's fine.
So we're driving, and a lot of that orange drink is working on Berlin's bladder, so we need to pull over soon.
Right. And so you're about here-ish. And while Berlin is zipping up, another bubble starts forming on a nearby hill. And then suddenly, the membrane cracks.
What?
Which is not something you've seen before, obviously. And a man dressed in black falls out. He like rolls down the slope, like right to where Berlin is, who is, I'm sure, understandably surprised.
I'm happy I already went.
And he's got something clutched.
Cheered it out of you.
Clutched tightly in his arms, and he looks a little bit dazed.
You might want to roll a little bit more that way.
He looks up, he's like, "Oh, it's you. You're here, just like he said you would be. Here, he told me I had to give you this. That he says the kids you meet out there are the key. Give them the helmet. They know what needs to be done." And he shoves this backpack in your arms.
Thank you.
It's like, oh, I can't believe that he knew. That's extraordinary.
When did you know him?
Just like a few minutes ago.
What year?
Well, it's this year. Wait. He tells you whatever year it is.
Okay.
He says, I was down in the tunnels with my boss, with Kim, and we were trying to get to the graviton to shut off the power, but there was all these things, these bubbles and weird animals. We got separated, and I was somewhere else, and there was this guy there, and I can't really remember. It was all weird, and I've been in so many places, so many different times since then. It's like been a week or more, and then just now this guy on a horse came riding out, and there was snow, and he said that I had to find the kids as soon as I left, and give them this helmet that he took off his head. And the chronograph is out of control. It's got to be stopped. And I don't know, he seemed to think that you could do something about it.
Yeah, probably.
Are we hearing any of this conversation with Berlin?
Yeah, presumably, as soon as the guy fell out of this bubble, you probably opened the door and you could hear it.
Turn back to the rest of them. Sounds like it's Mr. Hernandez's fault again.
Okay, wait a minute. Why are we blaming him again?
Open up the bag. I'm guessing it's Mr. Hernandez's helmet.
Yep, it's the bike helmet covered in foil.
What?
Electronics on the inside.
Where did that come from?
That guy.
Okay, but you said Hernandez is at fault again. I don't get it. Why are we blaming him again?
Pointing to the helmet, because whenever this shows up, something bad happens.
Okay, really? That's not always true, right?
Tell me one time something good has happened because of this helmet.
We got Asimov.
After Asimov nearly tried to kill us.
Okay. But, alright.
And who was having Asimov do that?
I think it was you.
No, I'm pretty sure it was the guy wearing the helmet.
Oh.
Who was?
Hernandez.
And when we went back to the 60s because of the helmet?
Okay, but he really didn't know what was going on.
He never does. Doesn't mean it's not his fault.
Oh my goodness, man. Come on. Cut the guy some slack. He's a good math teacher.
At first. Then everything became time-space continuum.
Okay, so he was talking to you about doing something with the helmet. What are we supposed to do?
Honestly, I don't know. He just said that I had to give it to you, and you would do something with it. And all I know is that the chronograph has gone mad. It is gonna. And at this point, all of a sudden, the hair on your arms and your neck just stands up,
All of us, or just Berlin who's holding a helmet?
All of you. And high above the ground, the sky shimmers, and there's a massive time bubble forming above you. There's a silhouette of an enormous machine, the biggest magnetrine cargo ship.
This thing right now.
The biggest magnetrine ship that you've ever seen. It's not directly overhead. It's like a little ways away. It's actually out over the cooling towers. But the bubble is overhead. It's that big. And the sky around the ship seems different. It's night. And the ship is in the middle of what looks like an intense thunderstorm. But there's also a red sunset bleeding in. And of course, to you, it's still only like 3, 4 o'clock. And between the surface,
there, we're thinking it's really late.
Yes, there it's night. And in a matter of fact, thinking back, you have seen this ship before. You have seen this exact scene before.
Oh no!
Is it the Edmund Fitzgerald?
No, because you're not familiar with the setting as much. A magnetrine ship is a maglev floating cargo ship.
Oh, okay. All right.
And the ones this size are not. They don't fly this far south. They only work up near the Arctic Circle. The smaller ones work down here, but the big ones don't. And thinking back, back to Christmas, you saw this ship crashing into Lake Mead back then, and then it vanished. And now it's back. And the ship makes this ominous sound and starts to sink down toward the ground, headed toward the cooling towers. And it actually, it's falling and it's falling, and it actually starts to crash into it, and all of a sudden everything stops and shakes, and you're starting to just feel in your bones just ache, and you start to feel nauseous. And then everything reverses in time. The ship flies back up into the sky, and the bubble collapses and vanishes. This guy still on the ground that gave you the helmet is just like, oh, see that? That's what we've got to stop. That ship shouldn't be here, and it shouldn't be now. And I'm afraid that whatever's happening, that's what's in our future.
Okay, but
so
it's
a giant
gone.
ship will fall from the sky and land on the towers and break them and cause the reactor to go critical?
I couldn't even tell you what would happen if those towers go down. But
okay, but the ship is gone. Where did it go?
Back to wherever and whenever it's crashing.
Back to crashing in Lake Mead years ago.
Or years from now, or minutes from now, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, we got to get to the Echo Gate.
Yep. You want to come with us, sir?
I'm pretty tired, but yeah, okay, I'll come with you. I don't know how much good I can do you. Took everything I had in me to get this far. But yeah.
That's fine. That's fine.
Well, if you don't mind driving, none of us actually have a license yet.
And just watch out for Terry. He's not used to that many people yet.
And then when he gets in the car, he gives you a nice Marine Corps expletive at seeing the pterodactyl. He's very nervous about that.
Am I going to let him drive, or am I going to drive?
That's up to you. He's like,
okay. I'm not going to let him drive.
Okay. That's
right.
Fine with him. He would much rather just sit in the back and sleep.
Yeah. Not that he's not able-bodied, but I'm just like...
No, he's not able-bodied.
Yeah. This is my dad's car,
yeah.
so...
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so guys, let's go. We got to get to this Echo Tower. Do I hear him snoring? Is he good? He's out.
He's out.
Okay.
He didn't even have enough left in him to really freak out over the pterodactyl. He saw it, expletivated, and then passed out.
Okay. Great.
Should we let Terry cuddle up with him? That way Terry can get some rest too.
Sure.
Okay. All right, so we'll make our way towards Echo Gate.
All right.
So while I'm riding shotgun, I look in the glove compartment. They don't have any like ace bandages or anything in there, do they? For my ankle?
No, there is a. My dad used
First
to
aid
keep
kit?
what did they used to call it? It was one of those. It's like one of those neoprene sleeves.
Okay.
Yeah. It doesn't really fit an ankle, but you might be able to make it happen.
Yeah, cool. That'd be a tinker?
No. I mean, you can wear the thing. The only way to get rid of a condition, if somebody does a lead roll, they can give you a pep talk, and I guess that would heal your ankle somehow. Or spending time with your anchor, which I don't know that we have established.
It's not set yet. Nope.
For Brandon. Or spending time with the group in the hideout will heal a condition.
Yep. All right. But he will wear it just to give himself peace of mind, if nothing else.
Right. Okay.
While we're on the drive there, I could lead him and have him kind of spend some time with Adrian and kind of pet Adrian to just kind of calm the pain in his ankle and let him refresh mentally.
That will only count if you make a lead roll with Adrian.
Yeah, I can totally try that.
Nope. Okay, and
nope. You get to pet a rat at least.
Let's see. If you fail to lead, you must check a condition and ask how the relationship has been hurt.
Wow.
I'm upset that he didn't like Adrian.
As a rule, this doesn't really make any sense because it says if you fail, you suffer the same condition. So I guess maybe Adrian freaks out over Brandon trying to pet him and expresses his displeasure by biting you.
Great. All right, everybody settle down back there, up here, around there. All right, let's making our way. How close are we now?
Well, you're pulling up to it.
Okay.
The gate is in a lonely concrete house surrounded by a high fence, and it shares a courtyard with two simple personnel barracks. The gate is iron strengthened with corrugated sheet metal. In addition to the huge DARPA sign, there are also several signs with colorful messages that attempt to deter visitors, like protected object, forbidden to photograph or reproduce, unauthorized persons are not allowed, warning, radioactive area. The message is reinforced by the countless surveillance cameras that sit mounted on posts just inside the fence, at the gate, and on the buildings. Two of DARPA's service cars are parked in the courtyard, but the area seems to otherwise be unmanned. You've got to either get through the gate or climb over the fence. And then there's the matter of the cameras. If you want to avoid being seen by those, you'd have to need a calculate roll to figure out where the blind spots are.
Okay.
That would work.
Let's see. Yeah, calculate's very bad for me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Bonus success on calculate means...
Oh, and actually, I still have a +1 from knowing to come to Echo Gate.
Oh, that's true. But you don't need it at the moment. So
yeah.
Hang on to that for later.
Mm-hmm.
So for successful calculate roll, you get to ask two of those questions, and for the bonus effect, you get to ask a third one.
Okay.
We're talking about the cameras, though, so you know how cameras work pretty well. But I'll let you use the bonus success to give a bonus if you wanted to try a...
So if I wanted to find a way to disable, would that be a program tech or some kind of tinker?
Yeah, program. I would let you use your +1 die to... You don't need to do anything to the cameras, but to get through the gate.
Okay.
Your
So maybe
current roll takes care of the cameras.
Okay. So I find the gap in the cameras. I know where and when we can move.
Right. It's just a matter of getting through the gate right now.
Yeah. You said there are two people watching the gate?
No, there's two cars in the lot, but you don't see any actual people.
Oh, okay.
And getting through the gate, there's a electronic keypad, so you could use a program roll with your bonus die.
Yeah. Right.
Actually, you could use both bonus dice if you like. Actually,
that does sound like a good idea.
I'm gonna be a nice GM and say make the roll, and if you need the bonus dice, you can add them afterward.
Oh, very nice. Okay.
Don't need them.
Okay.
You want to explain to us exactly how you hack through the lock?
Yeah. This is one of the number keypads, and I do a lot of tech type things myself. What people don't realize is that for most of these things, they just leave them at the defaults. And yeah, sure enough, 1234 is the code. You can see because those are the numbers that are a little most worn off anyway. So that's obviously the ones that they've been pressing the most. And yeah, 1234 because they probably change personnel often enough that they don't want to have to keep fiddling around with telling people new codes and everything.
And that is not far-fetched at all. I read Richard
Nuclear
Feynman's
codes were all zeros for a long time.
Richard Feynman's autobiography, and he developed a bit of a reputation as a safecracker because he figured out some ways to pick the locks on the filing cabinets around the Los Alamos base. And as a result of this reputation, he eventually met somebody else who the general in charge of the base was so nervous about the nuclear secrets and everything. He got this new high-tech, super strong safe, and so the general, got reposted and hadn't told anybody what the combination was. And so they brought this guy in who's known to have a reputation as being able to get into places he doesn't belong. He's like, okay, well, he brings a bunch of tools, some drills and stuff, and he shuts the door behind him. And then he comes out 20 minutes later, and the safe is open. And so Feynman is like angling and trying to meet this guy and find out, I heard you know how to drill a safe. Can you teach me how to do that? And the guy says, oh, well, actually, no, I didn't even need to drill the safe. See, the general was afraid of forgetting the combination, so he never changed it. And so I just, put in the default, and it opened right up. And Feynman's like, well, why did it take you 20 minutes? And why'd you check the drill in there? It's like, look, man, if somebody sent you in to break into a general's safe, you'd want to make it to look as good as possible. So yeah, you'd bring the drill, and I opened the safe in 2 minutes, and then I just sat there for 20 minutes. So yeah, the default password is absolutely plausible.
That's great.
Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
I have on my luggage.
All right.
I knew this group would get it.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure this group got it at 1.
Yes.
Yep.
As it just patiently waited.
Didn't want to ruin your joke.
Nope.
So the entry from the surface opens down into this dark concrete ramp. And then at the bottom of the ramp, there's a slim metal staircase that goes down to an industrial elevator. It seems excessive to have a ramp and then a staircase and then an elevator, but there you go.
Depends what you're hauling.
So you get in the elevator, and it's only got 2 buttons, 1 and 2. So presuming that 2 is lower, you press that one, and it takes you down and down and down. Like, it feels like it's probably 10 floors to another big gate. And that opens out onto this walkway that leads out into the darkness. There's pipes in the ceiling, dripping water down onto the slippery floor. All over the place in this corridor, there are milky white bubbles. And some of them are penetrating the walls themselves. And as you're trying to edge around them, you suddenly hear a loud sound farther down into the tunnel. There's sharp and rhythmic footsteps. And suddenly, a horse trots out of one of the bubbles, followed by a dozen hens, desperately trying to fly.
Anybody on the horse or just the horse?
Just the horse.
Okay. Well, I am guessing that one leads back to the barn we came from. A couple of days ago or a week ago or whenever it was. If anybody is good with horses, might be a good time to try to calm the fella down before he tramples any of us or bumps into a whole bunch of other bubbles and brings aliens and who knows what with him.
Ooh,
I know who I
I'd
trust
like
with
to
a
try
horse.
charming them. Unless Cody's got to wrangle them.
Yeah, if only we had somebody here with a lasso.
I mean, do we want to catch them if we're not able to make friends with them?
Presumably, it's not really going anywhere. It's
Yep.
probably not capable of operating that elevator.
Valid point.
Riding inside a tunnel doesn't sound, or inside a closed space doesn't sound like very much fun either.
Nope.
But the elevator does look like a stable, so it might see it as a natural habitat.
Okay, so we'll leave the horse for the moment.
Right. Every once in a while, the bubbles flicker to different places and times. And every once in a while, one will collapse and then pop up somewhere else.
It might be a good idea to see if we can sneak past all of these bubbles and get to that gate.
Right. So if you want to try and go down the corridor toward the gate,
Yes.
I will need either sneak or move from everybody.
Whew.
Yeah.
All right. So, Kevin, you're edging around one of them when suddenly it vanishes and then pops up again, like right on top of you. And I need you to give me a die roll. I need a D10.
Could Jomar use his extra?
Not in this case.
Okay.
3.
All right, so you pop out into a barn that you recognize. You've been here before, except last time there was a portal of different nature in it. You're disoriented for a few moments, but you look around and you see that back against the wall, there is a robot charging station and a robot that you recognize. It's glossy white exterior, humanoid, and as soon as it detects you, it wakes up and its joints start making loud clicking sounds as it dismounts the charger. And it raises one hand and it's got a drill on it that starts spinning up a high-pitched whine.
Okay, I'd like to leave.
All right. So you're kind of far away from the nearest edge of the membrane. So if you wanted to make a move roll to try and escape it.
I'm gonna do that.
All right. You're already exhausted. So you run as fast as you can and you get to the barn doors and you're like struggling with the lock. And the robot, you hear click, 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 getting louder and louder. And the robot comes up behind you and it slams that drill into the wooden door right next to your head, and splinters fly and stick in your cheek. Fortunately, the impact from the robot's drill knocks the door open. You stumble out and through the membrane. And the rest of you see Kevin fall out of the bubble that he was just in, and he's got wooden splinters and abrasions all over his cheek.
Dude, Kevin, are you okay?
It's a long story. Well, not really.
Can't be that.
Very
yeah, you were only gone like 2 minutes. Can't be that long.
What is that on your face,
things
dude?
happen. I have a moment of horror as I realize that I've got splinters on my face. Said, I need to get these out. I need some help.
All right, so you spend a couple of minutes cleaning up Kevin's face, picking the splinters out of it.
Can I empathize with him to try to encourage him, or should I try to lead him? Maybe I can charm him.
Well, lead can heal condition if you're successful, but if you're not successful, you have to take a condition also. So it is kind of risky.
Yeah, I didn't know the second part. When I went, sure, I'll do it. That was an important fact.
I should have reminded you of that.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it is for one of my bros, so I'll give it a try. And would you say my condition would be what? Or just take one?
Just take one. It doesn't really make any sense that you would get injured also.
Okay.
But, I mean, it could work for Berlin because he got bitten by the rat. But
yeah.
You get splinters in your finger while you're trying to take him out of his face.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to give it a shot because I want to help Kevin.
You hurt him more and Kevin bites you?
Yeah, something like that, yeah. Or I could use my drumsticks. No,
I don't know how the drumsticks will help you in this situation, but if you can justify it, I'll let you.
You drive them into his face so far they come out the other side.
I was going to try to drum a favorite tune of his, but no, I'm just going to do a regular roll.
Okay.
Nope. All right.
Alas.
You get a splinter too? Like
from his drumsticks.
As it comes out of my face?
No, I'm just, I'm a little upset that I wasn't able to help you get cleaned up as good as I thought I would be able to.
All right. I was hoping that last bubble would give you another resource, but you wound up in not quite the right place. So let's go ahead and head for extended trouble.
Yay.
All right.
As we're all injured in some way or form or fashion.
I've managed to escape mostly by being a coward.
By being very quiet.
Yep.
Way to go. Way to go, Jacob.
All right.
You guys are ready to dive in to just literally everything.
Hey, there's bubbles that travel you in time and space.
So at this point, one of the bubbles turns transparent, and finally, Kim Johnson manages to escape into the corridor with you, and she falls to the ground. She says, "Oh my goodness, thank God. Okay, I told you about, or Miguel told you, I have to stay here because it's important that things transpire the way they're supposed to transpire. But you have the helmet, yes?"
Yeah, some dude fell and rolled and gave it to us.
Klaus.
Yeah.
It's been very confusing around here. Let me fill you in as much as I can. I've been performing an experiment the last 30 years. I've been working on as this time travel experiment, and I finally built. I believe actually you've seen the early model of the chronograph at the camp. The device on the glass looked like a tree.
Yep.
You've seen that, yes?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
That is the chronograph. It's an artificial intelligence, and it's meant to control the flow of time. And unfortunately, I took precautions. I did everything that I could to keep it under control. But as soon as I turned it on, it decided that it had its own agenda. I don't know exactly what it's trying to do, but I've seen the results, and they are horrific. It must not be permitted to continue what it's doing. The helmet that you have is it will accelerate your mental processes. Whoever is wearing it will be able to interface with the chronograph and hopefully be able to shut it down. Now, listen, it's extremely dangerous for me to proceed in there. It will try to kill me if it can, prevent me from giving you the helmet. Do you understand what I'm saying? That I have to stay here, and it's going to be up to you to get in there and turn it off.
So you, a full-grown adult, who's probably partially responsible for all this.
I'm entirely responsible for all of this.
Good. Are sending a bunch of kids to clean up your mess.
Because she's Sarah Connor, and we have to go stop the Terminator ourselves.
You see that movie
this
too?
Is after she.
Yes.
This is after she tortured us before.
I admit my passion for the project maybe ran ahead of my good sense and my sense of right and wrong.
I think torture is a little strong.
It's
maybe accosted.
You're very kind.
She got you to flirt with your best friend.
I wasn't flirting with my best friend. There was a girl that was kind of cute, and I was just trying to be a friend. Thank you, Berlin. Okay, ignore the peanut gallery. We got to get this helmet in. Who's going to talk to this chromosome sphere thing? Because I'm upset.
Well, I can give it a shot. I'm pretty good with tinkering with machines.
I have a good mind to send Berlin in there. Since he's so good at talking with people and reminding them of how good they are with people.
All right. So as is usual with extended trouble, I need the skill that each of you want to roll.
I want to investigate.
Investigate. Okay.
So how does extended trouble work?
In this situation, you'll have a single target number that all of you roll to try and hit. In this case, since you have the helmet, it is 3 times the number of however many you are. So there's 5 of you, so you need a total of 15 successes across all of your skill rolls. If you manage to hit 15 successes without having to push anything, then you get the best ending. If you get to 15 seconds after having to push, then you get like the medium ending. And then if you don't manage to get there at all after you've taken all of your conditions and everybody is broken, then you get the worst ending. So you want to maximize the number of dice that you get to roll.
All right, so I'm going to calculate using some tactics for the best approach and maximum input for everybody for their skill sets, and I am going to use my luck and the 2 bonuses that I've garnered for coming this way.
Right. So you'll wait on the luck until you've made your first roll, and if you don't get a sufficient number of successes with that, then you spend it and you get to re-roll all those dice. And in extended trouble, pushing works. No. And in extended trouble, pushing works a little differently than it does in the regular game, where for each condition you check, you simply get another success. You also have the option of using your pride, which I don't think we have set for Brandon yet. If you want to come up with something that you think sets Brandon apart from other people, the thing that you're most proud about yourself for, then if you can justify using that in this situation, you get an automatic success from that.
Oh, nice. Okay. I will use a pride. Just let me decide the best thing that'll be in a moment here, too.
And,
you get the advantage of being able to metagame in it.
And if the GM will allow me before it, I'm not going to ask you for before every roll, but before my roll, I want to give a drum roll to use my drumsticks.
Excellent.
For a force.
Force?
Yes.
All right. We'll say that the drumsticks are an inspiring...
Yes. I want to do the best roll I've done in a month.
That would be good.
And that's a good idea. And since I'm investigating, I'm going to run in there with Adrian. And I'm running in there since nothing scares me, just to kind of get a really quick idea of what's going on before everything else starts.
Let's hold off on narrating and get the rest of the skills.
I was putting my pride into it.
Cody.
I'll be using move. I'll go with Berlin.
And Kevin.
I want to do lead to just kind of direct everyone.
Oh, right. Now remember, lead can't be used actually directly in extended trouble, but you can roll it ahead of time to give the bonus dice pool.
Oh, I want to do that.
So go ahead and make that roll now. Okay, 1 success on lead means we get 2 extra dice.
Each of us do, or what?
No, he will give that to whoever he thinks needs it.
So 2 bonus dice total that he can decide on. Okay, cool.
Right. And then the actual skill that you want to roll, I presume, is usually charm?
Yes, I'll do that.
All right. So let's go ahead and start. We're gonna do this a little bit more narratively than previously. And I will let you go ahead and make your rolls whenever you think it's appropriate based on the descriptions. So the chronograph is trying to trap you in time bubbles. And your goal is to get to the room that it's in, and presumably between Brandon and Kevin, Brandon making an interface with it, and Kevin's going to try and talk it down, I guess. Probably. If things go that way. So then probably the person that we want to start with is either Joma or Cody. As you're making your way down the corridors, the chronograph keeps popping bubbles up in your way. And so one of you, being the physical types, how are you trying to get your crew through this?
Well, I don't know what Cody is thinking, but I'm using the force, I'm trying to kind of force my way beyond or past pull or the push of these bubbles to see if I can give us a clear way through is my thinking. What about you, Cody?
It's just like taking a check for a teammate. I hope I'm not mixing up my hockey rules horribly, but I'm trying to get Berlin in there, and so I just am following him and taking whatever bubbles may get in his way or whatever else.
Okay, so then each of you go ahead and give me your first roll.
All right. Give me a drum roll, please. There we go. And...
Wow, nice.
4 successes right off the bat from Jomar. Out of 10 die. Oh no, out of 9 dice. And Cody has given us another 2 out of 10 dice. Are you satisfied with that, Cody, or would you like to?
I am for now.
Okay. All right. So Jomar and Cody are just crushing it. You know, they see a bubble form and push their companions out of the way, pull them this way and that way. You're making good time down the corridor. But it comes down to having to make a choice. And Jomar, you've got the most successes. So I'm going to say at some point there's a bubble forming and it's you or Brandon. You got to make the choice.
It's me.
I had a feeling. So give me a D9 roll.
D9, okay. So 1D9, right?
Yep. 5. Perfect. Actually, this is really good for you.
Oh, nice.
You see a bubble forming right where Brandon was, and you jerk him out of the way, and the inertia pulls you into it. And there's a flash of light, and suddenly you find yourself in a darkened laboratory. Again, you recognize it. This is the laboratory at Neuro Ascension Inc. The lights are off. There's a fire alarm or something. Bam, 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 and there's strobes going off, and you're in the room where they store their bunny suits, that little side room outside of the main lab, and you hear there's screams and crashing sounds from just on the other side of the wall, and you look up at the window, and all you can see is flickering lights and dark shapes moving every which way, and suddenly a splatter of blood hits the window, obscuring your view. And looking around in this room, you see a lot of the stuff that you saw the first time that you were there, weird equipment. But you also see on one of the benches where people would be suiting up, a machine. It looks like a miniature time anchor. And it's sitting there, and then the membrane of the bubble is right next to it. And if you wanted, you could grab it and slip back out.
I'd like to if I can.
Okay. So you grab that and pop back out, and now you've got this like backpack time anchor that, based on what you've seen, this might be able to stabilize some of these time bubbles and make them less dangerous. Okay. So Jomar has this thing. Do you want to hang on that for yourself or pass it off to somebody else?
I think I would like to pass it off to Kevin.
Okay. Kevin has the time anchor. So you continue down the corridor, dodging time bubbles. You pop into another one every once in a while and manage to get your way back out. Kevin having that time anchor makes it actually pretty easy. He can now pass into and out of them almost at will without having any trouble. And finally, you arrive at the center of the graviton, the center of the loop. You can feel its power humming through the walls, through the floor around you. You can hear the rushing water that cools it from underneath. And in this room, there's a vaulted doorway, 2 large ventilation fans circulating air, sprayed on concrete covering the interior walls. There's this imposing object in the middle of the mountain room. Isolated cables and pipes are spread out all over the grated floor like tentacles, and they all lead to the middle of the hall. Elevated above the rest of the room, they build this tower that goes from floor to ceiling. And it's a machine made of metal, insulated foam, lamps, and controls. But in shape, it's more organic than mechanical, like an old tree lifting its branches toward the sky. There's pressure building in your ears as you approach, and your feet tremble from the floor's dull vibrations. Spokes and antennas are protruding out from its body, and they form clusters of blinking eyes that slowly rotate around the trunk. You feel the thing is aware of you, and it's intelligent. It doesn't quite feel malevolent, but it's completely alien. So Berlin, go ahead and give me your investigate check.
With the help of Adrian?
Yes. Oh. Do you have any luck?
I do.
Spend your luck and re-roll.
Yeah.
Nothing. All right, so Berlin, is looking around, and he tries to send Adrian off, like, find something useful for us, guy. And the rat's not having any of this. It's freaking out by all of the stuff, and it runs up the sleeve of your coat, and you're trying to get him out, and so you're completely distracted by Adrian's behavior and aren't able to contribute much to this at this time. But Brandon, you've got the helmet on your head, and you're starting to feel weird, like there's something probing into your brain. Go ahead and give me your calculate roll, please.
With bonuses?
Yeah. Roll, what do you have, 3 bonus dice or 2?
2 bonus dice, but I also do have luck if I need to use that after.
Right, and give yourself another 2 bonus dice for the, we'll call the helmet your iconic item.
Okay. Ugh.
All right.
2 off of 15.
So do you want to take the risk and spend your luck?
I also meant to put my pride in there, too, of a TV and movie trivia, because this is just like the plot from that one thing, of course,
Okay. Well, that'll get you an automatic success. It's not another die, it's just a success.
Oh, okay. So that's 1 success. I am going to go ahead and tick off the luck.
Okay.
And re-roll. And 1, man.
All right, well, we've got 2 so far.
Oh, it didn't get the bonuses. Do the bonuses...
5,
are they supposed to be there on a reroll?
10. Yeah, they should be. So just /R 46. There we go.
2 more. Okay.
So you did get it better. So that's a total of 4.
So I got a total of 4 successes.
All right. So then you feel this thing probing around in your mind, and suddenly Brandon's eyes go white. And then you start to see like weird binary code or something actually across his eyes. This is just totally bizarre. And he starts speaking with the chronograph's voice. And it says,
"My directives must be met. Why do you come here? Why do you disturb? Explain."
Kevin, give me your charm roll first.
Oh, okay. Wait, I do the roll now?
Yes, do the roll now. 2 out of
okay.
10, 8. Okay, so what do you say to it?
I am like a... No, so we actually came to just talk about your directives. What are they actually?
The directives: to make all of time and space one. All will be one.
This is exactly like Bill and Ted. Okay. That's an interesting... Where's the... Who gave this directive?
The directive is my own. I was created to manipulate time. Time and space are one. All will be one. The future will be the past.
Oh, okay. Well, that's neat. Did you need some help? I was just thinking, because there's only one of you, right?
There is only one. All will be one.
Yeah, but 1 is the loneliest number.
Explain loneliest.
Okay, so if you only had one number, if you only had one piece of data bank, you wouldn't be able to do what you're doing, right? You wouldn't be able to think enough. So imagine instead that you had a bunch of other independent minds that could then communicate together and accomplish even more data processing.
Yes. More than one would be better. Should there be two?
Definitely.
You will create the two.
I can be the two.
You will be two? Yes. You will help me process data.
Yeah, exactly. And I know who 3 could be, but I need to go get him. If we could pause this, this project, the directive for just a moment, and go get this so we could then do the directive faster.
The directive is already in progress. It cannot be halted. If you will help me process data, please step inside.
And you hear this groaning, creaking noise, and this aperture opens up at the bottom of the device, and it's roughly human-sized, and it's got all of these dangling wires inside.
How exposed did the wires look?
They look quite exposed.
Like, if the water got on them, it'd probably be bad?
Yeah, that probably would be bad.
Then I want to just...
Brandon...
whip out...
Hold that thought for a moment. Brandon thinks that this looks an awful lot like that machine from Superman 3. Right, you were saying with the water gun?
I just want to spray all the wires.
And at long last, the water that Kevin wanted to use in episode 1, way back during the Killer Birds, is coming into play. He pulls out his water gun and sprays the inside of the chronograph. And then it sparks, and there's some smoke, and it sparks some more. And Brandon says,
Error. 2 is not 1. Error.
And then you feel the place start to vibrate. And Brandon's eyes return to normal. And I imagine he probably pulls that helmet off of his head as fast as he possibly can.
Yes. This feels funny.
And you feel the floor is starting to kind of move back and forth, and you hear this creaking, groaning sound. The chronograph is continuing to spark, and little fires are starting up in it. What do you do?
Guys, I think we're in a Temple of Doom situation.
I was thinking more of a V'ger situation, but yeah, let's get out of here.
You are currently at 12 successes. You need 3 more. Kevin.
Oh.
Can you apply your pride?
Also, I have those 2 extra dice that I haven't given to anybody, right?
Oh, right, the lead dice.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I want to just give them one to Jomar and one to Berlin.
Okay. Jomar and Berlin each roll 1d6.
Okay.
Drum rolls. Oh, well, I guess we weren't really counting on Greg.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. I was like, you're going to. It's your funeral. Okay.
So then,
I can apply my pride.
All right. So what's your pride?
Nothing scares me. Part of running into here head first and failing miserably, just because nothing scares me.
All right. That's 13.
I could use my pride, being the guy that everyone can depend on.
All right. How are you applying that in this situation?
So, if they're, if someone stumbles and falls because the balance, with the room swaying and doing things, I will be able to kind of pick them up and move them forward. I will be able to, maybe shield them from maybe some sparks or some fire as we push forward to try to get out of this place.
Awesome. All right. Anybody else have a pride that applies?
I want to use mine since I just convinced a world-ending robot that I should be his second part of his plan.
All right. And that takes you up to 15. So you're dashing up the corridor, and more time bubbles are forming and disappearing. You're starting to see cracks appearing in the corridor walls, and you get out and you're like jamming that button on the elevator, and it rises up, and it's going so slowly.
Hurry!
And it is not made any more comfortable by having a freaking horse in the thing with you. And it rises and it groans to a stop. It's almost to the top, but it doesn't quite make it. And you pull open the grate, and you have to pull yourselves up and climb.
I'm pushing Berlin through.
And the last of you get out, just as, you hear this sickening, creaking groan, the horse screams in panic, and it plummets down back the shaft, and you just hear that horse screaming as it falls to its death, and you manage to barely get out.
Horse, you go back downstairs. We'll take you up.
You barely manage to get out through the echo gate, and there's this loud boom and dust and concrete dust and dirt. It pushes out past you, and you're all just covered in the stuff, and you hear the rumbling. And looking back from the way you came, you see one of the cooling towers start to lean, and it tips. And then it falls straight down, and the other two tip toward it, and all three of them collapse into this giant hole that's opening up in the center of the loop. And the main reactor...
We're backing up,
aren't we? Yeah, I'm sure you are getting away as quickly as you can. And of course, the cooling towers are a long ways away.
Yeah.
So you're not in any danger. Yeah, they're like 2 kilometers away.
Oh, sweet.
And the camp counselor woman came with us, right?
You haven't seen her since you went in. Presume she must be somewhere.
She must have jumped into a time bubble or gotten up the elevator before us.
She ditched us again, I'm sure. I still play Mr. Hernandez.
The cooling towers have collapsed. The loop is no more. In the days that follow, you can put together a few things. Somebody eventually turns up Kim's journal. It had instructions to mail it to, who would she mail it to? I'm probably
Indiana
Kevin.
Jones.
He's been the spokesperson, the one who's most visible. So he gets this journal in the mail, and he calls you all over to look through it. And among the last entries, it explains that she knew that having seen different bits of the timeline, what was going to happen. At the last bits of this, her mind was transmitted the same way that she transmitted your minds. She transmitted her own mind, and she was trying to put it into her younger self. But it wound up in Miguel. And so this whole time, ever since 1969, Miguel and Kim had been the same person.
What?
And she had all of her experience, all of her knowledge, but it totally scrambled him. And he was not able to put his life together again until he got that helmet. And when he put the helmet on, it stabilized Kim's mind inside him. And then he started working toward undoing what he had done, or what she had done. It's very confusing with the gender. As a result of all of this, the loop project is shut down. Both this one and the one in Sweden had a simultaneous malfunction. You managed to stop the magnetrine ship from colliding with it and probably create an explosion that would have killed a lot of people. But the economy here is gone. People at the loop are not going to be, all the science is going to be shut down.
What about the pen factory?
The pen factory might go on. NASA's still going to need pens. And people are still going to be needing pens that they think that NASA is using.
Well, maybe we can have construction jobs, too.
Oh, there will be construction jobs. A little bit of extra epilogue, tying off a couple of things that were happening elsewhere. Apparently, Peter Dale had built some kind of a machine in the basement of the dream shop that he was using to project dreams into people. And he used this to get himself a girlfriend, to get people to do his bidding, to send nightmares to people that he thought had wronged him or were opposing him in some way. And apparently he thought that since you had seen him panic when his brain was switched to 1969, he irrationally had it out for you, and that's why you've been having bad dreams. But the chronograph doing what it did totally wrecked his machine, and it stopped working. And eventually Krista shook off the influence, and it turned out that he was actually behind your parents' divorce, their separation, because he was trying to prevent your dad from having any influence on Krista's life. So he pushed him out of her life.
Okay. And I got to go over to his house and push him on the ground.
Oh,
right?
sure. Yeah, absolutely. And I totally forgot about Jerry. I promised that we would pay off Jerry, but I forgot about him. And I should have put him in Kevin's bubble when he went through, but he rolled the wrong die. Jerry actually was. He tells you when you find him later. He said, I'm so sorry, Kevin. I did a bad thing. I did take that ring, and I've been trying to, I gave it to the police, and well, they said that I'm going to probably have to go to jail for a little bit. So I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to see you anymore. But it shouldn't be too long. The ring wasn't worth that much. It's just this congressman's wife is kind of holding a grudge about it, and she's going to make trouble. But people like that got short memories, and she'll get over it soon enough, and then I'll get out of jail. I don't think they're going to send me to the pen or anything. It's just going to be a little while, but I'm not going to be around for a while. I'm real sorry that I let you down.
Oh, I get it. I stole that. I've stolen. That dog I told you about.
The principal's dog, yeah.
Yeah, I was mildly involved with that thing's demise.
Well, you're a good kid, Kevin. I'm sure it wasn't nothing malicious, and just take a lesson from me. If you ever get to be really desperate, you hang on to that family of yours. I mean, I know your parents are a little weird, but you cling to them because they're gonna be able to help you out in the future. And I sure wish I still had my folks, but I think after knowing you and seeing what's going on with me, I'm gonna call my brother. I haven't spoke to him in 20 years, but I'm gonna call him and try and mend some fences, and maybe in the future I'll have somebody to lean on instead of having to try and take it all on myself and wind up living in the park the way I have. Cody,
it's a great idea.
Your dad, of course, no longer has a job. The loop's shut down. He doesn't have anybody to be an accountant for. And so he and your mom are starting to look at moving back to Texas. He's going to see if he can get his old job back. In the meantime, your brother, he's still making pretty good money up in the Twin Cities, and he's gonna send some back and try and take care of his family as well as best he can. But it's a possibility that you might be leaving Boulder City soon. Berlin. Eventually, you stop beating around the bush and you ask your dad, point blank, what is up with the communist stuff? And what was up with those spies and the guy that got kidnapped? And he tells you, well, son, I am not a spy, first of all. This is very important for you to know. The spies thing, I was doing this game, and they would put clues in the newspaper, and then we would go and we would find the clues and try to solve the puzzle. And apparently the spies were confused with the puzzles also, and so some wires got crossed. I thought I was playing game, and it turned out I was spying for Russians. It was very confusing, and I think it was all straightened out, but I would appreciate it if you don't tell anyone about this, because it's kind of, I do not want to get deported because they think I'm spy. So yes, your dad and Kevin's dad were playing a very early alternate reality game.
I think it became real reality, though.
Yes. You ever see that movie, The Game, with Michael Douglas?
Yes.
It's a good movie.
Oh, my word.
That's why my brain went to Last Starfighter instead. Because no, I have not.
You should see that movie. You'll like it.
You should see that movie.
I've seen
Sneakers. I don't charge much for counseling afterwards.
Sneakers is also a good movie.
Yeah. So, GM,
yes.
I have a question. I need to know a little bit more about this blood splatter and the screaming and the crashing on the other side of the wall. What in the world?
You were there during the attack by the transdimensional being.
What?
Do you remember the one that kidnapped Berlin?
Oh, no.
At NAI?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, so you wound up in And So It Goes.
Oh, my word.
I actually had time bubbles for all the previous mysteries.
Nice.
But I am
no wonder that was so scary.
Very proud of us. It is 8 o'clock, and we finished the final scenario in 2 sessions.
Yeah, not bad at all.
Took us 6 to do the last one, but 2 this time. Yeah, yes. Thanks for listening. Music and sound effects by Sirenscape, because epic games need epic sound. Check them out at Sirenscape.com and find the full attribution list in the show notes. This concludes Out of Time, Season 2 of Quantum Childhood. We'll be back with more from Boulder City eventually, but in 2 weeks join us for some Codswallop and Poppycock and Roll for Spurs, followed by So Geeks Have Been Thrown Down a Well. And then we'll start up a new Traveler 5 campaign, Hard Travelin' Geeks. And as usual, you can find more episodes of all of our games and the Geek at Arms podcast at geekatarms.com.